fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll from the high banks here in Daytona International Speedway, the Sunshine State Daytona International Speedway, the home for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series here this evening as these drivers get rolling out onto the racetrack. They're going to get ready to rock and roll here for the night as the lights are on and the action is just about to get underway. Drivers rolling down onto the racetrack here as qualifying has already come to a close, and we'll get ready for our green flag to start the day. Each and every one of them loaded into the sim and looking for the win, but starting on the pole in the number 44 ride, that is Kenny Real in the Sim Motion number 44. To his outside in the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions number 84, that is Bryce Dickinson. Starting in third in the 13, that is Christian Delgado into his outside. In the Liberty University, the Liberty Flame number 71, that is Greg O'Berry. Starting in position number 5, the McNeil Media number 48, it's Sean McNeil there in that 5th position. To his outside in the Fallout New Vegas number 75, William McKellar will start there in position number 6. And we see the 82 ride, the Liberty University machine of Christopher DeWald there in position number 7. John Fowler in the complete graphics number 94 ride to his outside. The number 33, I don't know if that's a good look right there. The number 20 ride is Russell Martin Jr. starting on the inside of row number 5 to his outside in the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions number 67. It is Ty Dickinson there rounding out our top 10. Then we see James Smith, Sean Jessic there in row number 6. He's got Zach Lockett, Andrew Hainsley, Cody DeForge, and Doug Roth rounding out the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are green flag racing here from Daytona International Speedway. Quickly, a pair of Sim Motion teammates getting lined up, jumping up to the outside lane here as Kenny Real leads us down through quarter number 1 and out of quarter number 2. Kenny Real out in front, Christian Delgado right on his back bumper as they're going to take us down the back straightaway. Here comes Bryce Dickinson. Bryce in the same looking paint scheme here as the Dickinson boys, sporting similar rides out there on the racetrack as Bryce trying to find something down low here as now you see that 94 John Fowler already up 4 positions on the racetrack using the outside lane to perfection as a few more cars jump down low. They're looking to get a couple rows built up here as the outside lane is going to lead lap number 1. It's Kenny Real leading the first lap of the evening. His teammate Christian Delgado staying right there on his back bumper as here comes the 94 John Fowler up into third. The 19 ride right there on his back bumper on the outside lane. The 93 Zach Lockett, the Tennessee Titans machine, rolls there in the 5th spot on the outside lane, and they've got the number 67 Ty Dickinson helping them out. Is down low being led by the number 84 of Bryce Dickinson, looking for some momentum. Here is a little squirrely on the outside lane. That lane gets broken up. They're going to go door to door down through the tri-oval in leading lap number 2. It's the 84 of Bryce Dickinson. Bryce out in front leading the way here as they're going to go door to door, still down into quarter number 1 as the 75 ride. William McKellar right there on his back bumper on the inside lane. And they got the 48 ride of John McNeil right there as well. The Liberty Flames, number 71 of Greg O'Barry. The 24 of Cody DeForge there, as well as you see the 10 ride of James Smith and the 29 of Andrew Hensley joining this fight at the front of the field. Top 13 all right there together on the racetrack as Christopher DeWald, unfortunately, sliding back here a little bit. He's teamed up with Russell Martin Jr., but these drivers have lost the lead draft here, so unfortunately they are sliding backwards in a quick hurry, and they are quite a bit slower than what that lead pack is. Even though there's two guys here, they're trying to draft together. They're about half a second or better slower than our race leaders in that lead pack on the Speedway, and unfortunately for Doug Roth, he is all by his lonesome here in the 43 ride. Roth about 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds slower than our lead pack out there on the Speedway, and that is having him slide way back here. Unfortunately missed the start of this race, had to start from pit road, and that is a tough break right there. If we don't see a caution flag here in a quick hurry, that 43 ride could potentially be the first driver to go one lap down. As Kenny Reel out in front, but they're door to door here at the front of the field. They are not going to stop. They are going to continue to race side by side here at the front of the field as Bryce Dickinson does slide a little farther back here. He goes back to about the 9th position. But that'll wind up between himself and his brother, Ty Dickinson, there in the outside lane as the E&D Farm rides join forces here at the back of the field, and that's what we'll see a lot of these drivers doing, finding their teammates, trying to work together to try to put themselves at the front of the field, just like we see with Kenny Reel in that 13 of Christian Delgado as the Sim Motion rides roll there on the front of the outside lane, but the 75 ride with a big run, and McKellar will jump up in front of him here. So McKellar says, you know what, I'm going to jump up here. I'm going to try to put my nose in front of these guys, see if we can split them up a little bit, maybe slow them down and keep them from running and rolling that outside lane. He's out in front, and here comes another big shot from the 48 ride of John McNeil. So he's going to jump down low and take this run here, hoping to see if he can stay at the front of the field, but a big push as well to the back bumper of the 44 ride. 44 all over his back bumper is my boy Jeremy Vaughn coming in showing the love. What's good, Jeremy? Mama Bear says, let's go. Ty and Bryce Dickinson cheering on the boys here this evening. Jeremy says, Bryce can't do it by himself, but they kicked me laugh out loud. Oh, no, I know. It's a tough break, Jeremy. It's a tough break, brother. Had to say hello, peace. See ya. Oh, my gosh. My boy Jeremy, hello to you as well, my boy, coming in showing the love as, yo, Skyler, Mr. Pruitt coming in showing the love. What's good, Skyler? Skyler coming in showing the love as well on the broadcast. How are you, brother? Says, go, Ty, go. Mama Bear says, let's go, boys. You can do it. Matt Taylor says, let's go. PMR, the Peacemaker Racing Crew, out there on the Speedway, looking very good out there on the racetrack. As Mama Bear says, lots of laps to go, boys. Lots of laps here. We got a ton of racing action left as we're only, what, 75% or 5% of the way through this race, 10% of the way through this race. Still a lot of laps for these drivers to navigate through the field, and the thing you just gotta do is just hang out here for a little bit. Take it easy. There's about 13 cars right here all together. You just want to keep yourself out of trouble, not make any mistakes, not ruin your night, take yourself out of the competition, or take one of your fellow competitors out as well. So you just want to kind of roll here with them, stay inside that draft. You do not want to lose that draft, and just have yourself in position where those few final laps, if you kind of push and work yourself either, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide towards the front of the field, and see if you can find a hold, be able to put yourself into the winner's circle here in Daytona International Speedways. Skylar Pruitt, Mr. Pruitt coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Skylar? Skylar, my boy, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Jeremy Vaughn coming in with that like on the stream as well. Papa Mike with the heart reaction and the share on the stream. How are you, Papa Mike? Jeff Dickinson, Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson also coming in with those reactions. Bryce coming in with that heart reaction and the share on the broadcast as well. My boy Skylar Pruitt, Skylar coming in, resubscribing as well over on the Facebook channel, resupporting the channel here with 1 year and 4 months of being a part of the Peacemaker Sum Club. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a hashtag Skylar up in the chat right now for Mr. Pruitt coming in, showing the big love. Let's get a hashtag Skylar right up into the chat, man. A huge shout out to him, huge shout out to all of the Peacemaker supporters here on the evening as they keep us going, and I do feel fairly, I would say, sick or tired. A little bit of both, but you know, just that's what we have no drive through. So we have no camera on tonight, chat. We have no camera on. Just do not feel very good. So we got it turned off. Don't want you guys to have to see me looking ugly or anything else up in the stream. So we got the camera turned off here, okay? Just to make sure it was good for everybody and not scare anybody away too early from the broadcast. As Nat says, Zach Lockett is my Pookie Wookie Bear. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest thing I think I've ever heard right there. He's your Pookie Wookie Bear. That is the cutest thing. Is Zach Lockett and the Tennessee Titans number 93 right rolling out there on the Speedway, looking very, very good here as you know, this is a very interesting race, and it's going to be a very interesting style of a racetrack here for these drivers, as it's anybody's race, honestly. All you got to do is just be there at the end, and you get the right pushes, the right jumps from a few different drivers out there on the racetrack in that closing lap, and you can go virtually from the rear of the field here with these guys to the front of the pack in a lap or two here at Daytona. So all you got to do is just, you know, kind of mind your P's and Q's, not make those mistakes, don't get caught speeding down pit road, don't have any issues down pit road, and you know, you can be right there ready to pounce, ready to put yourself into the winner's circle on the evening. Unfortunately, you know, you do see Christopher DeWald, unfortunately, still a little farther back there, as him and Russell Martin Jr. unfortunately lost that draft early in this race. They find themselves about 9 seconds, 10 seconds back of that lead pack here. So unfortunately, they are not gaining any ground. They're still losing about half a second to a full second every single lap out there on the Speedway, as they're a little two-car tandem here running in the 14th and 15th position. And Doug Roth, who's all by himself, losing 2-3 seconds a lap here, finds himself even farther back. He's about 38 seconds behind our race leaders, and they are closing in on him in a quick hurry. I bet you in about 3 or 4 laps, they're probably going to catch this car, and that will unfortunately put the 43, the Scary Strokes ride of Doug Roth, a lap down out there on the racetrack. But if you can catch that draft, kind of just stay right there with the lead pack, it could potentially put him, you know, into that free pass position where if we see that caution flag, he may get back onto the lead lap. As right now you see our race leaders here at the front of the field. They're going down and through quarter number 3 as Doug Roth right there. He's going across the start finish line, and the lead pack is they're about to come down the front straightaway, so they're less than a straightaway away from putting that 43 ride a lap down, and that is a heartbreaker for the 43. Definitely not the way you want to start your evening, playing catch up all night long, hoping that you can see that yellow flag before he even goes a lap down, not even having to worry about that lucky dog position. But woo! He almost got one right there. What a save out of the 19 of Sean Jessic. Jessic somehow saving that 19 ride and not going around as Bryce Dickinson was all over his back bumper. He kind of got very loose at a quarter number 2, and that really stacked up the outside lane. But man, oh man, oh man, he was sideways down the back straightaway. I don't know how he didn't go around right there or end up getting ran over from any of the other drivers back there behind him, as they had to check up quite a bit. Luckily enough, he keeps that car pointed in the right direction. They keep on rolling out there on the Speedway. That 44 ride, Kenny Reel, leads the outside lane. The 75 of Willie McKellar leads the inside lane. They go door to door once again down the back straightaway as our top 13 on the Speedway just working well together right now. 2 lanes of racing action. We got 6 cars on the high side. We got 7 cars down on the bottom side as the 10 ride trying to stay inside that draft pocket. Same with the 29 of Andrew Hainsley. They're both hanging on right there at the back of this little bit of a group here, a little bit of a pack here. They're trying to just kind of chill out right here, and it seems like both of those drivers may be starting to realize that the pushing and shoving's getting a little bit more intense up there towards the front of the field, especially with the lap car coming up on them here. So they're going to go 3 wide virtually out of quarter number 2, and this could make things very, very tight. And I think that's kind of back the 10 ride and that number 29 up a little bit, but hopefully not too much. But they may be trying to help this 43 ride. If he can kind of jump down in line, they could potentially help everybody out here and not lose the draft themselves with the lead pack, but also stick right there with the 43 and kind of get him rolling here, as he will be the first car 1 lap down now on the Speedway. So a tough break for the STP number 43 of Doug Roth. This is the Scary Strokes ride. First car a lap down here this evening at Daytona International Speedway, and he's going to be looking for that lucky dog. Is out in front. A little bit of 3 wide, kind of busted up that inside lane a little bit. Unfortunately, looks like things kind of getting a little bit unorganized for the inside lane. A few drivers leaving it now, and that's kind of slowing them down. The outside lane really working well together. They're staying right there, locked bumper to bumper at the front of the field. In the outside lane, gonna start to try to pull away, but you do see the 84 rider, Bryce Dickinson. He is gonna jump down and in front of the 75 of William McKellar. Gonna start pushing him, as now they got Cody DeForge down there as well, trying to help that inside lane get back towards the race lead, but now they're gonna split the 84 of Bryce Dickinson. That's gonna put Bryce right down the middle here. Unfortunately, he's gonna fall back like a rock, as no draft and help. He's trying to side draft off the 24 ride, trying to find a lane. Here comes Ty Dickinson. He's gonna pick him up. They're gonna find a hole and jump back to the outside groove here, as the outside lane once again getting that massive run down these straightaways. And here you go, the 19 for Sean Jessic. He is gonna jump down low. He's gonna leave that outside lane. Now the inside lane getting a little bit more organized. As 75 right will roll up to the back bumper here of Ty Dickinson, as Ty and Bryce quickly jump right from the high side down to the bottom side here, as they continue to work themselves at the front of the field. Man, some great racing here. Drivers moving around, drivers making some pretty sporadic moves out there on the racetrack, but man, they are making it fun, and you can see the teamwork between some of them just continuing and they're on the racetrack. Man, drivers just working together there. You see the 2 E&T Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Peacemaker Racing rides down low here of Bryce Dickinson and Ty Dickinson. They've been working well together here. They've been both right there together, and they're on the outside lane. You see that 44 and the 13, a pair of Sim Motion rides working well together as well all evening. They've been right there tied together. Kenny Reel started in that pole position, and the 13 rides are right behind him in position number 3, and they have been right there as, oh, no contact! Caution flag on the Speedway. There goes the 44 ride around the 84 of Bryce Dickinson, collected the 67 of Ty Dickinson, and the 19 all collected here and down onto the apron. It actually looks like no caution flag, but the 19 rider Sean Jessic does take his car down pit side here. Jessic takes his car down pit road after some contact, as it looks like just a bad push right there. Looks like the 19 gets out of shape here a little bit with the number 84 of Bryce Dickinson, as they're making some good pushes here towards the front of the field. Pretty aggressive driving, and it just looks like as he kind of moves around, you see the 19 go down low. The 84 still collected to his back bumper, as the 19 hugs that yellow line. This contact right here, just enough where he's pushing the 19, and it just goes to the wrong spot on that rear quarter panel and back bumper, and it kind of just virtually hooks the 19 up into the 44 right of Kenny Reel. Then the 19 down the racetrack onto the apron. Kenny Reel off the wall, comes back down across the nose of Bryce Dickinson. Ty Dickinson nowhere to go. They both go sliding down through the infield here, and unfortunately looks like No caution flag, but we do end up getting the yellow flag on the Speedway quite a bit afterwards. But luckily enough, they do get that yellow flag. But we'll see if Jensick here, after the contact, he takes it down pit road. I don't know if he had any additional contact. Does look like he gets into the inside wall there as well. So pretty good damage on both sides of the car for Sean Jensick, as this is definitely not the way they drew this one up. Definitely not the way they wanted things to go. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Bryce Dickinson as he's kind of just rolling here. Pushing the back bumper of his 19. And yeah, since he kind of starts moving around, push comes to the wrong place. And unfortunately, gets him bent out of shape and ends up taking out 4 of our front 4 drivers on the Speedway. Luckily enough, that caution flag does fly. Doesn't look like too much contact or damage for Bryce Dickinson or for Ty Dickinson, as both these drivers are going to head down pit side. They are going to get some work done to their cars. You see Russell Martin Jr. down there as well. You see everyone coming down pit lane looking to get some fuel, except for we do see the 13 of Christian Delgado staying out on the racetrack here. So Delgado electing to stay on the Speedway and not come down pit side. So an interesting call there for the 13 machine to stay out while everyone else heads down pit lane. We do see Grango Berry down. He's out of pit lane now. He'll come out in second. Willie McKellar there in third. Zach Lockett, the locked-in Lockett Tennessee Titans ride there in fifth. Cody DeFord, Sean Fowler, James Smith, Russell Martin Jr., Christopher DeWald, our top 10 rolling back out onto the racetrack. And now this is going to be a great break here, not only for our free pass driver Doug Roth. Doug Roth will get that free pass and back onto the lead lap here, so a good break there for him. Also a good break for obviously Kenny Reel and Bryce Dickinson, Ty Dickinson, to try to get their cars repaired and back out onto the Speedway. But also a big break for Christopher DeWald and the number 20 of Russell Martin Jr., as that's going to allow them to rejoin that lead pack, as they were at risk of going a lap down themselves. As Kenny Reel says, can't make it up. Laugh my ass off, Kenny. I know, brother. That's a bit of a rough one right there, but that's racing, unfortunately. Unfortunately, very early in the race, and a very tough one with only 13 cars in the pack. But thank God it's just a simulator and not real life, where you don't have to replace that $200,000 race car. You can keep on rolling. So that's the good news. Unfortunately, you got quite a bit of damage on that 44. I'm going to need extensive work to it, but you do see the 44 roll back out onto the Speedway, trying to stay on the lead lap. The crew is continuing to go to work, trying to get that car repaired. Definitely going to need quite a bit of service to get this thing back to 100%. Same with Ty Dickinson's ride and Bryce Dickinson's ride here, as we'll get rolling here once again. See if these guys can keep up the pace here and stay on the lead lap, stay with this lead group, and not fall farther behind here and try to salvage a decent day. Yo, Big Pilo videos coming in showing the love. What's good, Chris? Chris Pilo's coming in showing the love as well over there on the YouTube channel. Coming in showing the big love is John Schmidt. John Schmidt coming in. What's good, John? John Schmidt coming in showing the love as well. And Dustin Benton, my boy Big D, coming in showing the love as well with the like on the stream, as Mama Bear says, well shit. Well shit is right, Mama Bear. As it's okay, boys, get back up there. Things happen. Things happen. That is 100% right. That is 100% right. Things do happen, unfortunately. Sometimes things happen, a little too quickly, and before you know it, you're in a bad spot. You're given a bad push. There's really nothing you can do to back out of it, and that's why they call them accidents. That's why they call them accidents. Is everybody makes accidents out there on the Speedway every single day of the week, and twice on Sundays. It's racing. It happens. Drivers unfortunately make mistakes. We see it in the simulator. We see it in real life. We see it in NASCAR and at highest levels of motorsports. Accidents do happen, so nobody is perfect. An unfortunate contact. Unfortunately, we did see the 19 of Sean Jensick actually take his car down pit side and off the Speedway, so I'm not sure if we'll see Sean jump back out there or not. So that's a tough break for the 19 machine, as the Anything EC ride was rolling there towards the front of the field, looking very, very good throughout the evening. Unfortunately, that contact and the damage may have been a little too much for him, as we will get him stacked up, racked up, and back to Green Flag Racing is down through the Geico restart, so we go back to Green Flag here at Daytona International Speedway. So this is going to break things up quite a bit around the racetrack. A lot of drivers now kind of split up from the partners that they were working with. You see the 93 is Zach Lockett trying to stay on the back bumper this 13 ride of Christian Delgado. With Delgado, really, they got a big gap between themselves and that 94 ride as John Fowler trying to reel into them. The 93 is going to jump down to the inside lane here. Leave the outside lane a little bit more high and dry, as they're going to have to try to get lined up here and kind of re-engage, evaluate that outside lane, kind of regroup and see if they can try to push themselves back here, or we may see a little bit of single file roll out there on the speedway as the number 71 of Greg Goberry will take this race lead. But now you see the inside lane's going to jump up to the outside lane as 4 cars make that shift up to the high lane on the speedway here in front of the 13 ride. As Donald slides all the way back to the 5th position, about farthest back all night long. He's got the 94 of John Fowler right there on his back bumper. Cody DeForge leading that inside lane here. The Ring City Racing Memorabilia Toyota rolling that inside lane, as another huge shout out to Ring City Racing Memorabilia, our main sponsor here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. A huge shout out there to RCRM as they have came on graciously, and they put a lot on the line here for such an amazing series, such a long series. But man, it is so fun to see these guys week after week after week. And right now it seems like car counts are a little bit low, but as things kind of get back into the swing here, playoffs right around the corner. Some of those drivers that are already locked in to the playoffs, they've been taking some weeks off, maybe practicing, maybe doing some other things and getting ready for these NASCAR playoffs, and not necessarily running every single night of the week. So they've taken some time off throughout the summertime, but I'm sure, after another week from now, we will see the NASCAR playoffs get underway, and we'll see a full field of drivers here once again. We'll see all these guys back in action, looking to make their championship runs here and see if they can try to put themselves into victory lane in one of the first couple of races, see if they can lock themselves into the second round of the NASCAR playoffs here, and see if they can try to hunt down a championship. So it'll be interesting to see who all comes back, who all rejoins this field and tries to compete for a championship here on this season. It's the inaugural season, one of the biggest seasons and best seasons to try to get it done, as you always want to be first, the first driver to win a series and put your name into the history books as the inaugural champion of that series, especially after a lot of laps. When we do see the caution flag come back out, Bryce Dickinson just barely able to avoid theirs. It's Ty Dickinson in the E&D Farm 67 ride. He is going to go around. Looks like Andrew Hensley collected in that one as well, and Kenny Reel possibly having some issues there, as we'll play this one back and see what happened here. As not sure if we'll get a good angle of this one or not. Let's see if we can get a different shot at this one, as I do believe Ty Dickinson down the back straightaway here, getting pushed from the number 44 of Kenny Reel. Just looks like right there. I'm not sure if it just gets a big run and pushes him here, or what happens, unfortunately, for Ty, as he does get pushed right there, kind of just going over and over on that back bumper, as the 44 ride's kind of shuffling around right there on the back bumper of the 67. He kind of gets a little squirrely, and it just breaks the rear end loose on the 67 ride. So looking for the push, normally you just got to push him straight on, and as you kind of come over the back bumper, it kind of just pushes you around, and it just kind of loosens that wheel up, and it's very, very tough to hang on to it, especially when it's over and over and over again. And unfortunately for Ty Dickinson, as that's happening, he's trying to catch that car, trying to get it pointed back in the right direction. The 44 doesn't back off, continues to kind of go up and down on, or back and forth on the back bumper. And gets into that right rear quarter panel and unfortunately puts the 67 up into the fence. You do see the 29 ride down through the infield on the back straightaway here as he's trying to avoid what was happening there. A good piece of premonition for the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley as he sees this happening, sees the initial contact, and then takes that car right down low and just avoids all of the additional contact that may have happened. Is definitely a tough break right there for Ty Dickinson and the 44, and then Andrew Hainsley trying to come back out onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, a little bit of a blind spot right here for him as he comes back on. I don't think he was thinking that the 44 would be right there, and unfortunately they make contact, and that's going to put that 44 ride up into the outside fence again. So pretty heavy damage for that 44 ride of Kenny Reel, heavy damage for the 67 of Ty Dickinson, and pretty good contact there from the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley, as well as Hainsley definitely just an innocent bystander trying to stay out of that one. But yeah, definitely some pretty tough beating and banging here. So you take another look at this one. You'll see the hands inside the car here of both these drivers, and yeah, it's just an unfortunate break right there as Reel pushing him down the back straightaway. Just that the car, just unfortunately, when you get bumper to bumper and you start moving back and forth on that bumper, it's just pushing that car in all sorts of different ways. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Kenny Reel, see what he can see from the cockpit here as he's pushing this ride down the back straightaway. This car already pretty heavily damaged as you see that wheel pointed in a different direction here. Wheel turned quite a ways to the right, and just unfortunately just going back and forth. That's just getting that 67 ride super loose on the speedway as yeah, he's just getting super loose here. We'll jump on board with Ty Dickinson and see the hands here for the 67 as the initial bump. There you go. He's getting pushed. You can see the car just starting to wiggle. It's starting to wiggle, and unfortunately by the time he has to try to catch this car, he just can't really do anything except for hang on and enjoy the ride. And unfortunately, both drivers down pit side now with some pretty extensive damage, looking to get their cars repaired. The 44 will roll back out there, trying to stay on the lead lap. Andrew Hainsley making another pit stop here, coming back down pit side. We do see Ty Dickinson down pit road here for an extended period of time here. He is, unfortunately now, it looks like a lap or two down, so a tough break for the 44 as bad dog, no biscuit, says John Schmidt. Yes, Sirski, bad dog, no biscuit, that is for certain, as Ty says he's mad at both of us. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, I mean, I would be positive that he was probably not sure which one of the E&D farms made contact with him there down the front straightaway, or who ended up causing that first wreck, but potentially that is, yeah, unfortunate break right there as Mama Bear says, well, shit, again. Yeah, that's a tough one right there, Mama Bear. Good push, lap my hats off, says Charles Barnes. Yeah, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. Tough push, tough one right there. As we'll get it stacked up. Nonetheless, we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Locked In Lock It. Bounce, clutch up, trust. Oh my, he's about to clutch it up. You think? Nah, you think he's about to clutch it up? You think he's gonna do it? Yeah, I think he's gonna do it. I don't know. It's anyone's race, man. Anyone that's still rolling out there on the speedway, I think any one of them's got a chance to win this race. Honestly, Daytona is just such a toss-up, man. You can't put money on any one of these drivers and not the other, man. Each and every one of them are going to have a very solid opportunity at picking up the checkered flag here on the evening as not mad at them. Laugh out loud, trying to push. He can't handle it. I mean, obviously, I don't know. You're kind of just right there on his back bumper, Kenny. You're pushing him, and you could clearly see that you were going back and forth on his back bumper, and made him very, very loose right there. He was pointing the right direction. He was going straight. You were going back and forth on his back bumper, then he goes around. So, unfortunately, brother, it does not look good from your perspective as out in front, the 71 ride of Greg O'Barry. leads the way here. A green flag back out onto the Speedway. The 75 rider, Willie McKellar, there on his back bumper, giving a great push to the outside lane. But here comes the inside lane. Cody DeForge get a great shot from the 82, but he's going to jump down to the inside. They're going to go 3 wide, but down below the yellow line for the 82 as he goes side by side with that 24 wide of Cody DeForge. Unfortunately, now as they're 3 wide, the outside lane is just going to put that power down and roll right on and around all those bottom lane drivers. I'm not sure what was going on right there, but the 82 trying to take that run, trying to split him, trying to go around and put himself potentially at the front of that inside lane, and that just will not work, and that really broke things up here a little bit deeper in the field as the outside lane just stays right there connected together, rolling on the outside, and it is Greg O'Barry who leads the way as Willie McKellar, Russell Martin Jr., the 43, and Doug Roth and Bryce Dickinson up there rounding out our top 5. Cody DeForge going to fall in line here as he'll jump up into 6. He's got Christian Delgado there on his back bumper. Sean Fowler, Christopher DeWall, James Smith, Zach Lockett, Kenny Reel, John McNeil, Andrew Hainsley, Ty Dickinson, Sean Jessic rounding out our top 16 out there on the Speedway as Greg O'Barry leads the way. O'Barry still out in front. Now you see the 20 rider, Russell Martin Jr. trying to make something happen down low. Looks like the 13 ride is going to go with them here. So Christian Delgado going to jump down, pick up that 20 ride, trying to get that inside lane pointed here towards the front of the field. See if they can find the run that they need down the back straightaway. A little bit more pushing and shoving here, unfortunately, for the 94 ride. Just couldn't quite stay right there in line, and that's going to bust up that inside lane here again. They have been trying to get it to work here ever since that big move out of the 82 on that initial restart, and unfortunately they just have not been able to get organized. They have not been able to find the runs and the lanes that they have needed to kind of get themselves kind of working here. And now you see the 13 ride almost down below the double yellow line there as well as he's trying to give that good wrench number 20 ride a push to the front of the field. He may try to leave him high and dry as they just haven't been able to make any headway down low, and without anyone really helping them here, no drivers jumping down low to kind of get organized with them. They're kind of just sitting goose right now, kind of just sliding backwards, trying to hang tough. They're getting a great shove down the back straightaway, though, as the 20 rider, Russell Martin Jr. just hanging on for the ride down the back straightaway into quarter number 3. The 13 ride says, never mind, we don't need any more help. I'm going to push this 20 to the front of the field myself, and he is all over the back bumper, never left it down through 3 and 4, and that's going to draw that inside lane a little bit more attention. A couple of drivers will jump down low, and they are going to work themselves back to the front of the field. Inside lane back out in front as Russell Martin Jr. going to go door to door at the Liberty University 71 of Greg O'Barry. McKellar right there on the back bumper of that 71 ride. You see Doug Roth, who was one of the first drivers to go a lap down here on the evening. He's right there as well. A good sight to see for the Scary Strokes. STP number 43 is Roth. Went from being a lap down, getting that lucky dog, and now working himself up inside the top 5 and looking for possibly the race lead here at some point in this race. So a great way to just kind of get a good rebound, kind of readjust yourself and get yourself back into contention here on the evening as Christian Delgado right there has been kind of finding some new people to work with here, trying to find some different drivers to kind of work with out there at the front of the field as his teammate Kenny Reel, who worked so well together with him early in this race after that initial contact and that initial caution. We saw the 44 ride get pretty extensive damage, but he's been able to hang on to it here. Keeps that 44 ride up inside the top 10 as right now, even with that damage, if he can kind of just stay in the pocket, keep that air off the front of that 44 ride, should not be a parachute, but if he gets pushed out of the line or loses a little bit of the draft, this car could potentially be a big handful here. He needs to kind of just stay right in the pocket, continue to get the draft off the car in front of him without any big aero dumps to the front end of that 44 ride. Is obviously no front bumper, no aerodynamics really going to the front nose of that 44. It's definitely going to make things very tough for him, but he's hanging on strong. a front runner, but could be a pusher to get someone to the front of the field. And if him and his teammate, Christian Delgado, gonna get lined back up again, they could both work together here and see if they can push that 13 win on the evening as he's hanging tough. There we go. Big move out of the 43. Doug Roth jumps down to the inside lane. The 71 ride of Greg O'Berry sees that though. Oh, baby. Things are getting a little racy here. There goes the 43 ride down through the infield. Doug Roth gonna go down through the grass here. No caution flag on the speedway. There it is. Caution flag will be displayed as that's a tough break right there for the 43. And then we see more contact as well as it looks like Andrew Hainsley parked right there. He's getting a good look head on with the 20 of Russell Martin Jr. as it looks like more contact down through the tri-oval as we'll take a look back and see what happened as it kind of gets started with Doug Roth here. Roth, unfortunately, making some big moves down through 3 and 4. So we'll take a look at this one as at first he jumps down low on the 20 run here. The 71 comes with them. So they're lined up pretty well on that bottom lane. Then we'll take a look here as out of corner number 4, he's still looking for this race lead. He's going to try to jump up to the high side lane here in front of William McKellar, but the 71 ride guesses the exact same. Goes with him again, throws another big block to the 43, tries to cut back down underneath of him as he does. The 20 ride Russell Martin Jr. already there. He's not clear, comes down just over the nose. You see Martin trying to keep himself out of the contact with that 43 ride. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite avoid making that contact. And then down through the tri-oval. Oh, man, couple heavy hits right there. The 20 ride trying to get pointed back in the right direction, trying to recollect this car after that contact. See him go down below the yellow line here, the double yellow line. He's trying to come back up onto the speedway, and virtually almost the same thing. Just barely not clear of the 13 of Christian Delgado, and as he comes up, they make contact again, and it sends them up the racetrack hard into the side of the 84 of Bryce Dickinson. Dickinson up into the outside fence, and then more contact here as about 4 or 5 cars going to go around here. Just on the exit of the tri-oval, Christian Delgado collected in that one. See Russell Martin Jr. going around Zach Lockett with some damage in there. The 94 of John Fowler as well as definitely some tough hits right there for a lot of these drivers. Hopefully Zach Lockett, we see him head down the racetrack. Looks like he's going to be able to potentially get this car stopped. Yes, he gets the car stopped before hitting the inside wall. So that's a good break right there for him, as that could have been a whole lot worse for the number 93 machine. As we'll take another look at this one, see if we can get another look, another perspective at what happens here for all these drivers and how quickly things happen, how quickly things change here at Daytona International Speedway. And sometimes, you know, you just wrong place at the wrong time. Even right there, Cody DeForge getting some contact. He actually gets into the 10 right of James Smith there, as well as the 24. Almost makes it through this. He's almost getting through. Then Zach Lockett hits him. Then he unfortunately washes up the racetrack hard into the 10 right of James Smith, then hard into the outside fence right there himself. Man, so many cars tore up right there. I'd say more than half of our field. Quite a bit of extensive damage as this 10 ride just making it through, and then unfortunately gets clipped by that 24 ride. That is a tough break right there for Mr. Smith. Let's see if we can take a look here from the 24's perspective. Let's see, where is the 24, Cody DeForge right here. DeForge is going to get a great look at this one, as well as this is all happening right in front of him. He's almost getting through it, and then Lockett comes down the racetrack and right over top of him. Then he'll bounce off the 10 ride and then up into the outside fence there himself. That is a lot of tore up sheet metal, a lot of destroyed race cars, and a lot of money that's now parked down pit side trying to get repaired and trying to rejoin the field. As out in front, leading the way, the 48 ride, the McNeil Media Machine of John McNeil. At the front of the pack here is Grego Berry right there with him, the 75 rider William McKellar there in third. Doug Roth will be in the fourth position, even though he went around first there. He was able to keep that car, pretty clean. Went through that little infield slide, and that may have been actually the best thing for him as he went down through the infield, got stopped before the start-finish line, and avoided all the carnage there out of the tri-oval, and was able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. Not having to get a ton of repairs, and he's sitting pretty now once again in that fourth spot. So he's not done yet. Then we see the 94 of John Fowler rolling there in fifth. Christopher DeWald there in sixth. Andrew Hainsley now in seventh with Zach Lockett in eighth. Kenny Reel in ninth. Christian Delgado in the 10th position as Cody DeForge down pit side. He is in the 12th position on the Speedway. James Smith, Bryce Dickinson, Ty Dickinson also down pit side. Sean Jensick already back on the hauler and drinking beers with the crew back there as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. Once again, we'll get ready to try this all over again as they roll down the back straightaway. We'll take a quick break and get a word in here from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.
Alrighty, the pace car gonna make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and we will unleash this field once again as we are slacking and lacking on cars after a couple big caution flags. A lot of tore-up race cars drivers still down pit side getting repairs, trying to get their cars fixed and back out onto the speedway. Unfortunately, not quick enough, and that is going to take a lot of our drivers back behind the wall and unfortunately out of this race potentially. And this field has got a lot thinner out there, ladies and gentlemen. We have lost a lot of drivers here, but we still got about 10, 12 cars still rolling out there on the racetrack, still within contention of picking up this win, either with damage or without damage, and they're still making moves here. We're only just over halfway through this race. Lap 42 is 75, and it seems like we've been in green-white checkers here for the last 15 minutes out there on the racetrack. We have caused a lot of damage and a lot of carnage out there on the speedway. Dominique says, yeah, what a mess is correct. There was definitely a big mess like that. That was definitely a big mess down in through the tri-oval right there. A couple big messes out there on the racetrack, actually, and unfortunately a lot of tore-up race cars, but we keep on trucking out here on the speedway. These drivers keep on rolling out there as, yeah, Grandpa Schmidt, John Schmidt, absolutely. One of them needs to let Grandpa Schmidt drive next week, that's for certain, and Bryce says, I'm over this. Definitely a rough one right there, Brycey Bear. Definitely a tough one for both of the Peacemaker Racing rides out there on the speedway. And then, yeah, Mama Bear says, I'm at a loss for words right now. Same with me, Papa Mike. Same with me, Mama Bear. Loss for words is definitely exactly that. You would think it was the last lap, yeah. You would think it's the last lap, but it's not the last lap. We still got a lot of racing action left to go as out in front the 43 ride continuing to lead the way. It is Gary Stokes, number 43 of Doug Roth, who's out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one as things are going to get a little bit more organized down the back straightaway, single file here, and not what we necessarily always want to see. We like to see some good hard door-to-door racing out there and a little too wide, mixing things up ever so slightly, but we want to see that clean and green, not creating caution flags, and I think that's what's up with a lot of these these drivers right now. They're kind of just trying to get settled in and just trying to control the pace here for the next, 20 laps or so before maybe they really start to push the subject, as there's a lot of their friends, a lot of their helping hands out there on the speedway are now parked down pit side, as we do see Cody DeForge still down pit road, the 10 rider James Smith down pit side as well, Ty Dickinson still down there getting repairs on Sean Jessic behind the wall already, loading that car up onto the hauler, same with Bryce Dickinson. So about 5 cars out of the field, and when he only starts 16, 5 cars gone, it makes an 11-car field out there on the speedway, but they are still racing for a win, so none of these drivers are going to back down. They're going to keep on pushing and shoving and trying to put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening, as 44 Ryan watches up the racetrack. The 48 of John McNeil is going to leave him high and dry as the 20 ride Russell Martin Jr., I do believe, is a lap down. Andrew Hainsley is the last driver on the lead lap. Russell Martin Jr. needs another caution flag here to help try to put himself back on the lead lap. Is a great save right there for the 93 rider, Zach Lockett. Lockett may need a new pair of underwear after this one. Coming out of corner number 2, take a look at this 93 rider. Man, oh man, oh man, he almost lost it. That was almost another caution flag down the back straightaway. Look at that car just catching it right there before rolling up the racetrack and slamming into the side of the 13 rider up into the outside fence. Good piece of driving there as McCallum gets off his back bumper, helps him kind of just recollect himself with not pushing him through, even though they're both going to slide a little farther backwards and lose some momentum out there on the racetrack. They know they're fast enough to regain that and try to go back at it here. Back to the front of the field here. Drivers shuffling around, drivers moving around as Christopher DeWald trying to lead the inside lane. The 71 rider Grango Berry leading the outside lane. It's a pair of Liberty University rides at the front of the field here. Both of them controlling the lines here on the speedway. Can somebody find another way to get around a pair of the Liberty University rides? Grango Berry looking for another of his multiple wins here on the season. The 82 ride of Grango Berry trying to earn some extra playoff points here as well, trying to add another win to his list. The 43 at Doug Roth wanting a win. He's been itching for one for so long, and so has John Fowler, as they work well together. A pair of Scary Strokes rides down there on the bottom of this lane, and they're right there pushing that 82 ride, unfortunately a little bit too hard as he goes down the racetrack, down across the WO line onto the apron. Luckily enough, able to rejoin the field here without contact and keep driving here. As some more contact as the 44 ride finds the outside fence right there. Kenny Reel and his teammate trying to push the 71 here of Grango Berry, and unfortunately looks like they get together, and potentially a little bit of a bad push right here as the 13 ride got on the back bumper, and they roll up to the 71. They give a big shot to that 71. Just unfortunately, as they do, things kind of just get, what do you want to call it, just kind of get slammed together right here. And unfortunately, just kind of gets that 44 ride loose, pushes him up into the outside fence. Pretty good contact there as well for that 44 ride, and already having a little bit of front end damage. Hopefully not too much more, as that car has been hurting here for a little bit, but hanging tough out there on the speedway, keeping himself right there in the thick of things, and looks like the car's still rolling pretty well out there on the racetrack. So a couple good brakes there for that 44 ride, a couple good brakes for the 13, as well as they're able to stay out of trouble, trying to get that outside lane back organized, trying to keep on rolling here on the speedways. They're both looking to try to put their sim motion rides into victory lane, as the 82 jumps to the outside lane. The 43 goes with them, but then jumps back down low. So a pair of Scary Strokes rides down on the bottom side of the speedway. The Liberty University rides will get lined up on the outside, as here comes the 20 rider Russell Martin Jr. He's right there as well. Russell Martin, unfortunately, being scored a lap down right now. Is contact. Look out. Things are going to get a little bit sporadic down the back straightaway. 2 wide, 3 wide. Here is some contact down and out at corner number 2, and down that back straightaway. Really got things bent out of shape right here. Take a look here as the 94 ride of John Fowler and Doug Roth go up the racetrack here. Kind of just log jams that outside lane. Grango Berry and Christopher DeWald, they kind of get in there, get into the back bumper. It's almost the exact same as what we saw with the 13 and the 44. Is more of like an accordion effect as they kind of get to the back end there. A lot of momentum going in their favor. They get in there a little bit too hard. Unfortunately, the 82 trying to get lined up with the 94 ride. They never really could get lined up, and fortunately, that puts the 94 and the 82 up into the outside fence. And you see the 82 go off the fence and right down the racetrack across the nose of Russell Martin and down through parts of the road course here, and 3 wide. The 44 ride, Not Scared, puts his nose right into the middle of things, and everyone able to keep their car pointed in the right direction for the most part. But you see, unfortunately, Kenny Reel heading down pit side here. So Kenny Reel down pit road as Christopher DeWald without the draft now for that 82 ride, as he kind of got shuffled down to the inside and down onto the apron. He ended up losing that lead draft and now finds himself back in 9th as out in front Doug Roth leads the way. John Fowler, they're in position number 2. Greg O'Barry, they're in 3rd as Christian Delgado rolls there in the 4th position. They roll around the 10 ride. You see the 10 machine jump back out onto the racetrack. Good to see James Smith back out there rolling on the Speedway, as we also see Ty Dickinson back out there onto the racetrack as well. Unfortunately for both Ty and James, and for the 24 ride of Cody DeForge, who have all rejoined the field. They are all multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. Russell Martin Jr. is the first car 1 lap down here, as we do see Kenny Reel back out there. He's rolling again after making his trip down pit side. Not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop or an emergency pit stop right there, as John Jensen, Enduro at Daytona. That is a great way to sum it up right there, John. That is a great way to sum it up right there, as 100% the Enduro at Daytona sums up what we've seen here on the evening, as you see our leaders starting to roll into some lap traffic here. The 71 rider, Greg O'Barry, gets a great big run, trying to jump down low, trying to use it to his advantage. He's going to jump down in front of the 75 rider, Willie McKellar. McKellar will punch the 71 of Greg O'Barry to the front of the field. Quickly, O'Barry trying to jump up and block the outside lane as the 75 rider's going to go with him. So McKellar and Greg O'Barry going to work together here on the outside as one of the lap cars, the 20 ride. Russell Martin Jr., he's going to try to lead the inside lane here and maybe try to put himself right back onto the lead lap. Even though he's in that free pass position, if he gets that caution flag he's been looking for, he'll be able to get back into contention for the race win here this evening. But right now, this race were to end, he is scored in the 11th position, and the first car a lap down on the Speedways, Greg O'Barry. At the front of the field, William McKellar there in 2nd. Doug Roth, John Fowler, and Christian Delgado are top 5 as things are going to get a little bit more broken up. Here comes Doug Roth, going to drive the inside lane here. John Fowler, a Scary Strokes teammate, going to go with him as the complete graphics ride down on the bottom side here. But we do see Russell Martin Jr. trying to work the inside lane. We see the 48 and John McNeil. He's going to jump up to the outside lane, and he's going to try to join McKellar, O'Barry, and DeWald up there. Same with Zach Lockett. They're going to try to roll the outside here and kind of leave the Scary Strokes rides just a little high and drawing down low. They got Russell Martin Jr. down there trying to help him, and they're doing a great job hanging on down on the bottom side of the Speedway, taking the shortest way around the racetrack. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to hang on to that, as Andrew Hainsley right there in the 8th position as our top 8 kind of all right there together in this lead pack. And then about 18 seconds back, we see the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald, who has lost that draft. He's back here in the 9th position, unfortunately hoping for a caution flag himself. And then we see Kenny Reel back here as well in that 44 ride. He also no drafting help out there on the Speedway, and our race leaders are running him down in a quick hurry. And then we see the number 20 rider, Russell Martin Jr. there as well in that 11th position, a lap down. Cody DeForge, Ty Dickinson, James Smith, all still rolling out there on the Speedways. Bryce Dickinson and Sean Jensick, the 2 drivers down behind pit wall. Justin James Young coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Justin? Justin coming in, smashing that thumbs up. Kevin Timmy, Kev coming in, showing the love as well with the like on the stream. How are you, Bubba? Nelson Johns coming in as well, coming in, showing the love as says pretty soon. Keep on pace car, be the only car left. Yeah, that is a potential. That is for certain. As there's been a lot of cars been destroyed here tonight, but luckily enough, we still see some great racing here at the front of the field. These drivers not giving up, not backing down out there on the racetrack. Each and every one of them doing a great job here to keep us entertained, as we've seen some big moves, some big drives here for some of these drivers, and some pretty sporadic moves being made out there. Some that you don't think you'd actually see, and they're trying to take these runs, trying to put themselves at the front of the field here all evening long, as normally the front of the pack is sometimes a little bit of the best spot to be. You can kind of stay in front of all the caution flags, stay in front of all the contact and mayhem that may unfold behind you, but so far tonight we've seen a lot of contact and carnage be created from the front row of the Speedway. We may see a little bit more right here as things getting a little bit sporadic there down into quarter number 3. Everyone kind of getting into line here. The 48 run going to jump down low, so John McNeil trying to get something rolling on the inside lane. He's not going to find too much help, so now he's going to jump up to the high side. The 71 right of Grango Berry now going to try to work the inside lane. The 13 may go with them here. Christian Delgado down low. No, he's not. He's going to stay up on the high side with the 43 and Doug Roth. The 75 now going to leave the 71 down low by himself, as here comes a pair of teammates right there. The Dirty Monkey Motorsports rides of John Fowler in the 24 of Cody DeForge trying to work together here. DeForge is multiple laps down here for the 24, but right here in the mix with these race leaders could potentially help the 43 and the 94 towards the front of the field as they roll up on some more lap traffic here. As Kenny Reel unfortunately gonna go a lap down right here, as the 44 rides still a ton of front end damage here. He's going to be looking to try to slot right in behind our lead pack here, trying to catch that draft here to hang with them. The 13 ride, his teammate Christian Delgado. Looks like he's kind of getting onto the binders right here. He may be trying to help his teammate out, trying to help bring that draft to his front nose to kind of put him back into this battle at the front of the field. We saw the 24 ride join in and being able to help that 94 and the 43. They're trying to get that 44 ride up here as well to try to help and give them a little bit of extra push and force here towards the front of the field, especially for that 13 of Christian Delgado, as he wants his Sim Motion teammate right there with him, trying to push him down across the line. He's on the lead lap, or 10 laps down, or still on the lead lap. They want to try to work together and find their friends late in this race, as McCallum leads the way. Him and number 71 of Grango Berry been working very good together here this evening. They've been lined up multiple times. They continue to just kind of work together out there on the Speedway as they go door to door here with the SDP number 43 and Doug Roth, as Roth rolls the inside lane. He's got his teammate John Fowler right there behind him, and another one in that 24 as the 24 machine of Cody DeForge trying to work in this battle as well. As there you go, you do see the 44 ride of Kenny Reel able to put himself into this battle at the front of the field here as well. Even though he's a lap down, he was able to catch that draft. He joins these drivers in this lead pack, and right there he's got his teammate, the 13, on his back bumper, and we'll see if they can push each other again to the front of the field. Fortunately, this time not for position for that 44 ride, but could potentially either put himself on the lead lap or give him that free pass here, as he is now in that free pass position. Russell Martin Jr., who's actually lost the draft here, him and the 29 of Andrew Hainsley, unfortunately went a little too far back, lost that lead draft off the pack, and now they're kind of stuck in no man's land a little farther back here, hoping for a caution flag, as Russell now outside of that free pass position, and Andrew Hainsley kind of just stuck there in the 8th position, about 5 seconds back from that lead pack. And then you see the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald, the next driver to potentially go a lap down here in the 9th position, as DeWald is unfortunately without any drafting help here and running a lot slower lap times than that lead pack right now. And Fortunately, he's got about 10 more laps or so before he ends up a lap down on the speedway. Maybe even less than that as McKellar at the front of the field. Willie McKellar continuing to lead the way. Greg O'Berry right there in position number 2. John McNeil there in third with Christian Delgado in position number 4 and looking for more. You see the 43 of Doug Roth, John Fowler, Zach Lockett, our top 7 here on the speedway as the 44 and the 24. Both of those drivers are either a lap or multiple laps down here. Not in contention for this race win at the front of the field, but in contention to trying to get some laps back, trying to work themselves back onto the lead lap and potentially back into this fight here on the evenings. They roll around the 10 ride as, unfortunately for James Smith, he's going to go another lap down here as Ty Dickinson also looks like he's taking his car off the speedway, so a tough break there for the Pop White Promotions, Sweet Tea Gang, Mama Bear, EMD Farms, number 67 of Ty Dickinson also off the speedway, so tough break for both Ty and Bryce Dickinson, pair of the Peacemaker Racing team, and unfortunately both not having the runs they were hoping for on the night. As a lot of contact, a lot of mayhem, and we saw a lot of drivers, unfortunately, early exits here on the evening, but we'll see if we can jump right on board here with that 13 ride here. Let's take a look here at the 13 machine as Christian Delgado right there on the back bumper of his teammate, the lap down number 44, Kenny Reel, who's currently in the 10th spot, scored in the 10th spot here, but they're up inside the top 5 right now, and they are in position where the 44 ride is going to make moves. He's going to go wherever the 13 ride wants to go, and going to try to help put his teammate into victory lane here this evening as the laps are counted down in a quick hurry. They find themselves out on the speedway, and this thing's time by the start-finish line. We will see 10 more laps left to go as we'll get a good look here at Christian Delgado out there on the speedway here as we'll get a good look here at his in-car camera here at the 44 as they roll around the lap traffic there of Christopher DeWald. DeWald going to go a lap down. Now not the first car 1 lap down. The 44 ride will hold on to that first car 1 lap down position, looking for that free pass if we do see a caution flag. But you see great in-car camera look here, holding a pretty wheel, just kind of cruising here on the back bumper, biding their time for late in this race. Now the next big question is going to be, when do you make the move? When do you make something happen? When do you put yourself into a position to potentially pick up the win here on the evening as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here with 9 laps left to go. We're going to crank it up. We'll be right back here in just a few more moments, and we're going to get the end of this feature event here in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here quickly on Peacemaker Gaming. John McNeil goes for a spin, and the crank it up caution flag will continue here as the yellow flag is upon us. A late race caution. Not what these drivers wanted to see, especially the 48 ride as he brings that yellow flag out. We will take a look and see how this happened here as a late race caution flag going to be displayed. John McNeil going for a spin here down through the tri-oval. They look like they're just pushing hard here. The 43 right all over the back bumper of the 48, and as they kind of get a little bit squirrely coming out of the tri-oval here. Just kind of the same thing we saw with the 44 and the 67 early in this race. They kind of just get, lined together here, pushing hard. And as they come out, looks like possibly Just kind of a little bit of a release. The 43 gets a little bit squirrely here, ends up hitting him in the wrong spot, drags across that back bumper and into a little bit of that left rear. Then he gets a shot from the 94. Unfortunately, that transfer of kinetic energy just goes into the back bumper in the wrong spot of the 48. Ryan gets him very, very loose, shoots him down into the infield here. Going to hop and skip over some of the road course parts of the racetrack, and as he goes for a slide here, he's going to continue on sliding right on down and up onto the racing surface right there. And unfortunately, as he gets stopped on the speedway, see these drivers coming right out, and they throw that caution flag as they were right there within striking distance, and they just being safe. The officials call it the caution flag there to make sure no one else gets collected as the 48 parked down there. Weren't sure if there was any damage or anything that may have also happened to the 48. So caution flag going to come out, and that means we will see some pit stops here and some tough decisions for drivers coming down pit road. So you see Christian Delgado going to come down pit side. Now, tires are not a huge factor here at Daytona, but they can always be a little bit of a helping hand. I mean, it can never hurt to have new tires on your car, so we'll have to wait and see if the 13 gets any fresh slicks. He does look like he's going to get some left side tires onto that 13 ride, some extra fuel into it, and he'll look to jump back out onto the speedway. We'll see the number 93 is Zach Lockett down pit side. We see Andrew Hainsley down there as well, getting some work done to his car, some fresh tires as well. We also see Christopher DeWald down pit road here as well in the 82. Unfortunately, DeWald's still a lap down as Kenny Reel will get that free pass. Being able to stay right there with that lead pack will put him back onto the lead lap here. So it's going to put Kenny Reel, our 9th place driver, on the lead lap. Russell Martin Jr. still a lap down out there on the speedway, rolling in the 10th position. Christopher DeWald down pit side in position number 11 on the speedway. Cody DeForge there in 12th. Then we see James Smith in 13th. Ty Dickinson in 14th. Bryce Dickinson and Sean Jensick rounding out our top 16 here on the speedway. So a few drivers off the racing surface, and about 9 drivers left to duke it out here potentially in this feature event. If we see a couple more caution flags, we could get Russell Martin Jr. and Christopher DeWald back onto the lead lap as well to join the fun. But with those caution flags, we may see more drivers off of the lead lap with extended periods of time down pit side and damage on their cars. But not too much damage for John McNeil there in that yellow flag. He's able to keep this 48 ride rolling out there on the speedway, and he's currently in the 5th position, so still sitting pretty out there on the speedway. And with 9 cars left on the lead lap, it's going to be interesting to see who will end up in victory lane as the laps are counting down. Things are getting closer and closer to the checkered flag. This time by the start-finish line, we will see 5 more laps left to go. So 5 more laps here. I believe the lights are off the official iRacing pace car, so that means we will see a 4-lap shootout to the end unless we see a caution flag for that white flag here this evening. Then we will go to NASCAR overtime, but we will have a 4-lap shootout here to try to settle things out at Daytona International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere as you do not want to miss the end of this feature event. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that follow and subscribe button as we'll get ready to set these drivers back loose, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every...
All right. Alrighty, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. 4 laps of racing action. About to get underway here as what could be our final restart of the evening. About to get underway as out in front, down through the Geico restart zone, the number 75 of William McKellar will see that green flag fly. He'll quickly jump up to the outside lane in front of the 48 of John McNeil. So McNeil and McKellar, 1 and 2 on the outside lane. They got Branko Berry right there with him as the outside lane finding a ton of speed. The 94 ride of John Fowler. He's going to jump down low. Here comes the 29 of Andrew Hainsley. He's going to jump down to the inside lane as well. Hainsley, one of those drivers that unfortunately lost the draft before that caution flag. He needed it, and here you go. He's right here within contention and within striking distance of picking up this evening's checkered flag. Zach Lockett in the 93. He'll jump down low here. He'll lead the inside lane as he tries to go door to door with our race leaders. See the 29 ride get bent out of shape, unfortunately, down onto the apron here. He may be at risk of losing that draft once again. Looks like he's going to. Looks like that car blinking a little bit there as well, but McKellar outside lane able to hang on and hold down the top spot here as he just keeps his foot in the throttle, not making a marker here on the evening. Got a couple of his teammates right there with him as the 48 rider John McNeil and Branko Berry been working very well with that 71 ride throughout the evening, and Branko Berry staying right there with him as the 3 cars starting to try to break away as Doug Roth able to work himself around the 82 of Christopher DeWall. Is DeWall going to slide back here? You see the 13 ride of Christian Delgado getting up into the outside fence ever so slightly there, trying to avoid contact with that 82 as down across the line. We see 2 more laps of racing action here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series from Daytona International Speedway as things are powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. And with less than 2 laps left to go, William McKellar at the front of the field. Can he hang on and pick up the checkered flag here on the evening? As McKellar getting pushed perfectly here from McNeil as McNeil in the Boeing. McNeil Media number 48 ride in second. Branko Berry's been working with them all evening long, but we see a big move out of that 71 ride as I'm sure he would love to add some more playoff points to his back pocket. Is up into the outside fence. We see the 44 ride and the 13 ride get up there. The 24 as well, getting some damage in that. They slide backwards. Is down across the start finish line. We see the white flag fly one more time around here at Daytona International Speedway for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia, Scary Strokes, Anything EC, Buck Track Motorsports, and Dirty Monkey Motorsports as McNeil and McKellar pushing nose to tail down the back straightaway. The 71 ride right there within striking distance. Does he make a move? Where does the move come from? There you go! The 71 of Branko Berry down low. Shoot in the middle goes John Fowler. Contact, more contact. Wrecking down up and through corner number 3. Here comes the 75 ride of William McKellar. No one there to contest him, in the 75 will pick up the checkered flag here this evening. William McKellar gonna get it done and put himself up into victory lane. What a run and what a drive for William McKellar as being at the front of the field that time was the best place to be. His contact back there behind him, a big wreck as the fireworks not only out there on the speedway all evening long, but now up in the sky to celebrate the Fallout New Vegas. Number 75 of McKellar parking himself up here in the World Center of Racing victory lane as he's going to roll down through corner number 3 and number 4. And to the front straight away, he'll pick up that checkered flag. He's going to burn down the house and put on a show for us as Doug Roth going to come home in position number 2 in that 43 ride. Kenny Reel there in third as the 75 going to send it down through the Daytona logo here and down through the grasses. He's pretty pumped up about being able to pick up the win here this evening. It's been a long time coming for the 75 ride. And, man, he is absolutely psyched, picking up this win, putting himself up here in victory lane. He's going to get nose to tail here with one of his buddies, as Russell Martin Jr. right there with them. They're going to celebrate this big win for that 75 machine. As, man, what a run and what a drive. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a bit of a crazy show, a bit of a wild one here. Saw a lot of contact, a lot of carnage, a lot of back and forth battles out there on the Speedway, but as the dust settles here at Daytona, the number 75 of William McKellar will put himself up into victory lane. Man, what a run and what a drive for that 75. But let's play this one back and take a look here on this final lap as we saw contact and chaos down through corner number 4, and it kind of gets started as our race leaders up on the high side. Everything gonna kind of get bunched together down the back straightaway and down into corner number 3. We're gonna see the number 71, Greg O'Berry. He's gonna make the move down low. He's got the 43 right there with him on his back bumper, trying to push him here. And as they kind of get rolling, come down the back here, you see a couple of big bumps, a couple of big shoves here. The 71 trying to keep it together, but the 94 gets a big run and tries to go 3 wide. Unfortunately, as he comes down the racetrack, he almost gets into a Scary Strokes teammate right here, the 43 ride, and I think he just kind of tries to move up and off of him. Unfortunately, the gap closes here between himself and the 48, and he gets into that left rear quarter panel of McNeil. That spins McNeil down into the 71, and very Dale Earnhardt Sr.-ish for Greg O'Berry, hard head on into the outside fence. Nowhere to go there for the 93 ride of Zach Lockett. You see James Smith also getting some pretty good damage there into that one, as both the Sim Motion rides able to roll around that, as Kenny Real and Christian Delgado able to come home in third and fourth there. The 43 ride of Doug Roth, unfortunately losing all that momentum to stay out of that wreck. 75 able to just keep that power down, keep his foot in the throttle, and keep on rolling there to a big win here at Daytona. I'd say probably the biggest win I think we've ever seen here at Daytona. Over half a second, 0.6 of a second between himself and second place. Normally we see super close finishes here at Daytona International Speedway. This time we see a very close one, or not a very close one, but a very big one for that 75 with last lap contact, and able to put himself up into victory lane. We'll get ready to pull our race winner up into the voice chat here. We'll get him up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview after a big run and a big drive here on the evening for that number 75. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth. Where is Lee McKellar? There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, William McKellar. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got a copy. You got me?
I got you, brother. Will, what a run, what a race, man. I saw you working well together all evening long, able to avoid majority of the carnage out there on the Speedway, keeping that car in one piece and just keeping yourself right there in contention all night long. And late in this one, seems like you were working very well together with John McNeil and that 71 and Greg O'Berry, and then right there on the, the final restart, able to get a good jump, able to work yourself right up there on the high side. The inside lane really couldn't get forward. Not a lot of drivers down there to kind of get something building underneath of you, but, down through corner number 3 there on that final lap, the 71 rider, Greg O'Berry, tries to take that big run. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact, a little bit of 3 wide as Fowler poked his nose in there. Contact for the 48, who is on your back bumper. He goes around down the racetrack, collects Greg O'Berry and a lot of other cars down through 3 and 4, but you're able to roll out of corner number 4 with a huge advantage. With everyone else behind you losing momentum, you're able to cruise home here down through the tri-oval with a 0.6 of a second lead to pick up the checkered flag in what I would say is the biggest win here at Daytona that I've ever seen.
I mean, so for me, this is definitely one of the biggest wins that I've had. I could not have faulted at all John McNeil if he decided to take that run, with Greg, especially after the incident he and I had at Michigan. I'm glad he stuck with me. McNeil's a fantastic teammate. So I definitely owe John, I think 2 now. I keep giving wins away. I want to say I've given 5 wins away this season just in this series. And so to finally actually put it all together, I can finally say tonight, William McKellar is not the reason William McKellar doesn't win races.
Absolutely, brother. We've seen it time and time again. The 75 ride being so strong. Wherever it is, whether we're at Pocono or Michigan or some of these other great racetracks where you've had very dominant race cars, led a lot of laps, been there, right towards, almost the end of these races, and then, something bites you, whether it's, just a mistake down pit road or something simple if they're on the racetrack that all of a sudden just takes it out of contention for the win. But not tonight. Tonight, you're able to keep yourself at the front of the field. Some good fortune with the contact back there behind you. No battle back to the race line, to the start-finish line here. You're able to pick up the win at Daytona International Speedway. No better place to do it here as your first win with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, and you're able to, pick up the big win here at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, man. No bigger stage to get it done, man. How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. I've won at a lot of tracks. I've won at a lot of tracks in iRacing between officials and leagues, and I found that, mile and a half's my bread and butter. Pocono is, I think, the track on the entire service that I'm the best at. I've run a lot of races at Daytona, and I don't think I've ever finished inside the top 10. So to finally, I got to put this in perspective. I'm third in points with no wins. I'm third in points. And so what this does for my championship run is fantastic. The fact that, I guarantee you I jumped some spots in the points tonight. In our playoff picture, and to do that at Daytona is absolutely phenomenal. My dad and I, every year, both races, we sit down over a homemade, McKellar meal. We go ahead and we watch both Daytona races. So to finally win at this track, man, I'm going to make him watch the replay of this broadcast tomorrow, because I guarantee you he's going to enjoy watching it just as much as I did running it.
Heck yeah, dude, 100%, man, and a great drive all evening long for you as well. Obviously, not a whole lot of cars out there on the racetrack. Obviously, everyone enjoying some summertime, and even a lot of our past winners, maybe taking a little bit of a back seat here and letting some more drivers duke it out for wins and everything else, and enjoying some time off before those playoffs start, and knowing that you're here in that playoff picture, you're locked in, and now you get some bonus points as well. Works a long way towards winning the championship here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series powered by Race City Racing memorabilia. So how big is it not only to pick up the win, but how big is it to be able to get those extra playoff points, to be able to try to use those to your advantage to move from round to round and towards that championship four?
It's absolutely huge. There's a bunch of tracks that I'm not too good at that are coming up, right? We're going to have to go to Martinsville a second time. And I know I think I finished 7th at Martinsville back in the spring, but Martinsville and I don't get along. We ran Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. We're going back to Wilkesboro. I spun out at the All-Star race in my heat, and I took myself out of the feature. So I'm looking at some of these tracks coming up, and they've got me feeling uneasy. But, having a win, I think this will get me quite a few more bonus points, going through the chase. I think that it gives me a little bit of breathing room. I think I'll be allowed to have at least one bad race. Obviously, you don't want to have any bad races, but I think at Wilkesboro, I can afford to be slow and then come back in the next round. So I mean, this is a huge weight off my shoulders. Once you get the first win, they tend to just keep rolling. But just looking at the playoff picture, we are racing for a wrestling belt. And man, it would look good around my waist.
Absolutely, brother. I think there's a lot of other drivers that think the same way, but getting hot at the right time, being able to find victory lane only, a couple races away from the start of those playoffs, getting hot, getting that monkey off your back, and just kind of getting ready and getting into prime condition here for the start of our playoffs, man. No better time to get hot here on the Speedway, and being able to pick up your first checkered flag is the best way to do it. Will, a great run, a solid performance all evening long. Who would you like to thank for such a great run here tonight?
Well, I got to thank my teammates, especially, Greg O'Berry and John McNeil. We were talking strategy the entire race. So I got to thank those guys. I mean, the decisions for restarts and track position, a lot of those were, consulting with Greg, because he's running for the regular season's point championship for a reason. I got to thank my son for sleeping through all our hooping and hollering. I got to thank my wife for looking after him, and Got to thank John Ross, Ron Luzy for putting this on. They do a lot of really good work. John Fowler, all the Slingshot was his idea. So got to thank John Fowler for thinking all of this up. Got to thank you over there at Peacemaker Gaming for calling this one. I get to go back and watch it, and those are always fantastic, and you do an absolutely phenomenal job. And most of all, I want to thank God himself.
Absolutely, brother. Gotta thank the man above here, as you might have been looking over you here in this one, as just finally being able to get that monkey off your back, the seas parting back there behind you and allowing you to run away with the win here, which is normally not the way we see things. Maybe under caution flag we would see a gap that big here across the line for the checkered flag at Daytona, but you're able to just keep yourself out of trouble, keep yourself in the right place at the right time, and here in this one, being at the front of the field was that right place as you park yourself up here in victory lane. William, congratulations on the win, and enjoy it down there in victory lane.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, brother. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner as William McKellar picking up the win, putting himself up here into victory lane. What a run and what a drive for the number 75 ride, as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. One of our main sponsors here on the Speedway, the number 43 ride, powered by Scary Strokes, coming in position number 2. We'll see if we can pull Doug Roth up here into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Is Doug coming home in position number 2? Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey Doug, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, I sure do, Aaron. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Doug, brother, what a run, what a race, man. We saw you right there in contention, making moves, trying to find your way, to the front of the field and into victory lane all evening long, and trying to do it right there on that final lap. Unfortunately, just a little bit of contact, a little bit more contact throughout the evening. Is quite a bit of carnage here throughout the night, but you're right there in contention and almost making that race-winning move with Grango Berry, potentially giving him a run to the front where maybe you would leave him high and dry, or trying to go 3 wide with the 94 ride of John Fowler. Unfortunately, just some contact there, and as that contact was made between the 94 and the 48, we saw Grango Berry get collected in that one, and then you kind of had nowhere to go right there and kind of just getting held back, and it was enough where you lost enough momentum that you couldn't run down that 75 ride of William McKellar to try to battle with him a little bit side by side there to the line.
And it was one roller coaster of a ride tonight, Aaron. Let me tell you. I mean, it started out with, my button box not working, so missed the start of the race. So we already started, kind of behind the 8 ball. Ended up going a lap down, and then the caution came out, and then fought our way back, throughout the race. Stayed in pretty much the top 5, top 10, pretty much, all the way to the end. Like you said, trying to make moves. We're pretty good at the super speedway tracks, so we were pretty confident going into tonight. And then, with about 7 laps or so, had a run on the bottom, and John McNeil came down and threw a block, which didn't blame him, and I got him sideways there, and so ended up having to restart with 3 or 4 to go from the back of the field, and then so worked our way back up, with 2 to go, and on that last lap I was in cons with the rest of my teammates, John Fowler and them, and kind of gave them the game plan, and going into 3 there, we had a hit of steam, and it was either now or never, so went low, and Greg came down and blocked, which I expected one of those 3 cars, because I think they're all teammates, so I figured at least one of them was going to come down and block. So he came down and blocked, and of course you're in turn 3, headed into turn 4 and into the checkers, so I wasn't lifting, so I got into the back of Greg, but everything was all good there, and then unfortunately I guess John came in, got loose, and slid up or whatever, and took out a bunch of cars, which sucked. But yeah, we did the best we could with what we had. Second place. Like I said, it was a real up and down night for us here over at Complete Motorsports.
Absolutely, definitely a good night, a strong performance here all evening long by you guys. even after that early mistake, missing the start of this race and just being in that tough spot. Luckily enough, we did see a couple caution flags there to give you that free pass, get you back onto the lead lap there on the Speedway and back into contention here tonight. And we saw that late in the race, we saw a lot of drivers had to come down pit side, hoping for those caution flags, and we saw you get tied up. At least one of them there, we saw you go for the slide through the grass, and I think maybe potentially the cleanest car out of that caution flag, as you were the first to go around there before the tri-oval, and then down through the tri-oval we saw a bunch of other drivers getting collected. There were a ton more carnage, but you're able to kind of just drive right on through that one. But other than that, even this 43 ride pretty dang clean all night long, and driving it up here at the front of the field looking for the race win. You come up one spot short, you got to be pretty happy with your overall performance on the day.
Yeah, we just can't get that number one position. I don't know what it is. We finished second a couple of times, finished third a couple of times. We're just having a hard time getting that elusive win. And I thought tonight was like I said, we were really confident going into tonight. And yeah, when we took the spin earlier in the infield, I thought I was going to save it, and then I got sideways, and I saw the caution came out. And I'm like, man, I'm not sure. I'm way off the racing surface. I'm by myself, and I got back up on the track, and I'm seeing parts and pieces of cars all over the place. I'm like, what in the world happened? So I'm not sure. I still am not sure what happened, but we came in there besides some worn tires from sliding unscathed. So it definitely worked out in our favor. But yeah, we've been very happy with our run this season. We've been finishing. I've had, the power go out. I've had, equipment failures. I've had a lot of that this season. I'm not sure, had a black cloud over us for a good portion of it, I guess. Missed a couple races here and there. But, when we are here, when everything's running right, we're pretty consistent, about the top five. And again, still looking for that win, and hopefully we maybe get it next week in Darlington before the playoffs.
Absolutely, brother. Still looking for that first win, and I'm sure without a doubt before one of these races here on the season ends, we'll see one of these scary stroke rides up here in Victory Lane. But man, a great run, a great drive here all evening long. Who would you like to thank for such a strong performance here tonight, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to thank my mom, who watches religiously every week. I'd like to thank my wife, Lynetta, for putting up with me doing this every Wednesday night and sacrificing some time. She supports us. She's like, you better get down there and get everything set up, because I'm one of the last ones to typically load in. So I'd like to thank her. Obviously, all the sponsors, Papa Mike Motors Promotions, Butt Crack Motorsports, Anything EC, you Peacemaker. Obviously, I say it every time I get the opportunity to do an interview, one of the best in the business. My teammates over at Complete Motorsports, John Fowler, Jane Smith, Joey Atkinson, Cody DeForge, and a few others over there. So have a great team over there. We're really building something special. It's been kind of shaky, but I think we got a pretty good foundation. And then last but not least, got to thank my own sponsor, Scary Strokes, Southern Maryland's Epic Family Entertainment Center, Blacklight Miniature Golf, Arcade, Virtual Reality. We're actually going through renovations right now. So mid-September, we're going to have a brand new golf course available to guests. So if you're in the DMV area and looking for a fun time to take friends out or hang out with your family, come see us. You can also check us out online at www.scarystrokes.com.
Absolutely, brother. Definitely gonna check out scarystrokes.com, man. So many amazing things there. So many things to do, man. And man, I'm telling you, one of these days, I'm gonna be making a trip down there and checking it out, brother.
I got your tickets anytime you want to come there, yeah. Peacemaker. I got you covered. Come on down.
Hell yeah, dude. One of these days, I'm telling you, and we'll make some pretty cool videos on it and have a good time down there, man. Maybe throw a little bit of a party and bring some more of the Peacemaker family there as well for all the fun and all the action. But brother, a great run, a great drive here for you on the evening. You're able to park that ride up here in position number 2, one spot shy of that holy grail, the win here at Daytona International Speedway. But I know without a doubt we'll see you back up here in the booth throughout the rest of the season, and hopefully one of these nights we'll catch you up here in Victory Lane.
Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely, brother. See you next week. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the booth.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher. The number 43 of Doug Roth, as Roth comes home here in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for the 43 machine. As we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, Kenny Reel. Reel coming home there in third, got bounced around quite a bit here this evening. Quite a bit of damage on the front end of the 44 ride, but able to still keep himself right there in contention and put himself up onto the podium. Man, a great run and a great rebound here for that 44 ride, as he was the benefactor of that late race caution flag, getting the lucky dog, getting back onto the lead lap, and here he is finding himself a way onto the podium as we'll pull Kenny up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview in the Sim Motion 44 ride. Hey Kenny, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Kenny, man, what a wild evening, man. Lots of racing action, a lot of carnage out there on the Speedway, and we saw quite a bit of damage on that 44 ride, but you're able to keep on trucking here throughout the evening. But we saw late in the race, ended up, I don't know if you got shoved or just ended up coming down pit side there. Unfortunately, that kind of lost you the draft, and we see you go a lap down, but you hang right there with that lead pack. Luckily enough, you get that late race caution flag to put yourself back on the lead lap, and you and your teammate Christian Delgado working well together, able to avoid some of that carnage down through 3 and 4. All of a sudden, you come out of it seeing, our top 2 right there in front of you. Just unfortunately so much of a momentum loss for all the drivers behind the 75 of Willie McKellar. Each couldn't quite gain enough gear to get up there and compete for the win here down that front straightaway, but able to come home with a solid third place finish after a bit of a wild evening. A great rebound of a drive, though, to be able to still park that 44 ride up here on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the race, we had a pretty good race going until usually I didn't expect the carnage to happen up front. It's usually the middle of the back of the pack, so I thought I was safe leading the race. But it's super speedway racing. It happens sometimes. And then we got that. I went through the pits because I had a drive-through for trying to avoid a wreck, a little scuffle up, and I got the incident point limit, so I had to go through for a drive-through. And yeah, luckily we ended up, when we got lapped, we was able to keep the draft, get the lucky dog, come back and get a little bit of damage fixed. I still finished that race. I still had 6+ minutes of damage, so I don't know how I was able to stay in the draft like that, but I was out there racing on modified, it seemed like. But it was driving good. At first I had some wheel damage. That's when I was pushing Ty, he was really squirrely. I know from the broadcast it looked like I was squirrely, but he was really squirrely in front of me, and I was trying to push him up to the car in front of him, and he was just swaying back and forth. And I guess when I gave him a push, it just, how he was swaying and turning the wheel, it just, I guess, broke his car loose. And it's not like I meant to. I'm just trying to get some momentum built up for us and get him pushed up. And that hurt my car even more. But I wasn't trying to wreck him. I was just trying to get us some momentum and get us pushed up there. But yeah, all around it was, a big rebound race. It was just all trying to get damage fixed every caution and try to rebound every time, and getting a top 3 out of it. I'm lucky for that. So
Absolutely, being able to still salvage a top 3 after the damage that you got right out of the get-go from that first wreck, and being able to just keep with it, and that's the big thing, right? We saw in that wreck, Sean Jensick, get a little bit of damage in that as well. I don't even know if he would have had as much damage as you got yourself, but he took the car right off the racetrack, just kind of gave up on the evening, but you never gave up, you never backed down. And as you said, every one of those caution flags, we saw you down pit side, getting that car repaired, trying to at least get it back to where it was, a little bit more comfortable, maybe a little bit easier to navigate through the field, and being able to contend here still for this race, and being able to get that lucky dog late in this one to be back in contention, and being right there at the very bitter end of it, almost coming home with the checkered flag, but still coming home with the podium finish, man, is a great feat here after what was could have been a very defeating race here on the evening. But you stick with it, you don't give up, and you get some great results at the end of the day here as you park that 44 ride up here on the podium. Kenny, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here on the evening?
I just want to thank my teammate Christian Delgado for working with me all night. He was giving me some good pushes early on. Just sucks we couldn't do more with it. And I just want to give a shout out to you for putting on a good broadcast, all the league runners, sim motion for being on the car, and other than that, that's probably about it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, a good run, a good drive here as you get that 44 right up here into position number 3. Hopefully, we'll see you back out there on the racetrack next week as we head to our regular season finale at Darlington. So, going to be a bit of a crazy race there as well as drivers trying to make that last-ditch effort to try to either pick up a win or earn enough points to put themselves into the playoffs here for our first playoff series of the Race City Racing Memorabilia Slingshot Sim Racing Series here in 2024. Kenny, a great run, great drive here for you, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congrats again on the third place run.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Kenny Reel. Is Kenny coming home. They're in position number 3. A great rebound day for that 44 right after early contact, early damage, and getting tied up in a couple early incidences out there on the speedway. Able to keep that car just rolling on the speedway, not giving up on it, and somehow managing to keep that car, in one piece out there on the speedway, and able to manage, just keeping himself in the draft, not losing a ton of time here, not continuously going a lap down out there on the speedway, where a lot of times we see that happening, especially in real NASCAR when you get that front end damage, especially losing that whole front bumper. You just become like a giant parachute out there, but he's able to just kind of navigate the aerodynamics of the car, staying right in the pocket behind the cars in front of him and keep that air off the front nose of the race car, and able to hang right there with him and right there late in the race. I think if he didn't have that damage, maybe he would come out of quarter number 4 with a little bit more momentum, maybe not be a parasail there and be able to kind of just power up, maybe find a way to get around Doug Roth, maybe even have enough to get around that 75 of McKellar. McKellar was such a big lead, and being able to drive home to a beautiful, beautiful win himself here on the evening. A huge win for Mr. McKellar, man, but a great run all evening long by all these drivers, man. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage, but you can never expect anything less here, man. These guys are so passionate, so, a little bit hard-nosed at times, but I would call it passionate out there on the speedway. Each and every one of them want to be at the front of the field. They want to be leading laps. They want to put themselves into victory lane, or at least be in the best position possible to be able to get the win here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. Unfortunately, sometimes that passion turns to anger, and sometimes that passion turns to unfortunate incidences out there on the speedway, which, it happens in real life. It happens on the simulator each and every single day of the week. Just unfortunate contact, getting bounced around a little bit here, a little bit there, and unfortunately, that's what creates caution flags and accidents out there on the speedway. But luckily enough, it's on a simulator. None of these guys have to pay for a brand new $200,000 car like they do in real NASCAR when they get wrecked here at Daytona International Speedway. So they're able to load into the next race and not have to worry about paying for a brand new race car. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to call it there at that moment in time. But we are going to do one more thing as we got our random number giveaway here, brought to you by Butt Crack Motorsports. So every single race, Butt Crack Motorsports putting a little bit of extra money on the line for these drivers to try to earn themselves an extra payday. And with that happening, we're going to jump into it right now. So a random number generator, we're going to pull it down onto the screen here so you guys get a good look at it. You guys can get a good look and be able to see, as you see right here. So we had 16 drivers go onto the racetrack and race here this evening. So what we're going to do for the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway, we are going to hit the generate button quite a few times here. We're just going to click it a whole bunch of times, kind of get it reset, refigured here, and then we'll stop it. We'll let you know when the next one will be. So don't mind all these clicks right here. These are nothing. These are just to show you, what the random number generator does. Now, we're going to stop it right there. So the next time we click it and we generate, the next time it selects, that will be the winner of the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway here this evening. As, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing that Russell Martin Jr. and the Buckcrack Motorsport crew do here each and every one of these races. Now, what the number corresponds is a position on the speedway. So whatever number pops up here, that position, that will be a position locked in for the winner. Now, whoever finishes in that position will earn themselves that money here from Buckcrack Motorsport. So we're going to generate it. We'll see who our winner is as number 8. So our 8th place finisher here on the evening will earn themselves that extra bit of a payday, and it looks like John Fowler, the complete graphics, Scary Strokes, number 94 rider John Fowler, going to be the winner here this evening of the Buckcrack Motorsports giveaway. So a big win right there for Mr. Fowler. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening. If you haven't already, make sure you guys do me the favor, hit that like button on the stream, hit that share, hit that follow, and hit that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us for the night. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long. A huge thank you to everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do see Mr. Fowler with the like on the stream, and Slingshot Sim Racing coming in with that share as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out, ladies and gents. It's a great night of racing action, man. That was a lot of fun. Peace out, baby. Woo!
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun.